All right, guys. So today, uh, well, right now we're talking about another topic, which is will COVID-19 end? And this is a topic that a lot of my patients have written to me about and asked me to please cover. So I'm going to cover this. If I can figure out how to share my screen, we'll get going. All right, share screen and here. So this brings me to this movie, which is here. But before we get to this movie, I'm going to talk about this. This is a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, 8:15, that says, "After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection." And then you have this verse in the Quran, which says, "And those who are patient in times of suffering and adversity and in the heat of battle, it is they that are true in faith." How amazing is that? And then you have um, this from Peter in the Bible. Say throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings and faith. And so it sounds like some interesting commonalities that we can find between faiths, different faiths. And then I was unable to find it in the Torah, but it's probably just because I did a cursory search. I'm sure there's something in there that also talks to the same thing. And let's get to entertainment because that is the point of life. And go ahead. So this is where this Brad Pitt guy, he's able to walk past this virus person. All right, so this is interesting. So let's go back here. So right here. So everybody's nervous. Somebody's gonna have a stroke because they have elevated blood pressure. All right, so hold on. Which brings me to the question: is it possible that zombies can have strokes? That's another video. All right. So this is kind of important because do you see how this Brad Pitt, who represents humanity, is up against this guy who is this virus and affected by this virus that's turned into a monster that's killed many people, but now can no longer do that. So it's a great analogy for some sort of immunity that's there to this virus. But um, the real question, I think, is yes, coronavirus, we will forget about coronavirus one day, just like we forgot about the Spanish flu. And we're going to go straight to this.
We don't know exactly why some flu strains are much more severe than others, and why
This
some
is
of them
Derek
would
Smith,
be more likely
Dr.
to
Derek
cause
Smith.
very severe disease.
What is particular about avian and pandemic viruses is that they replicate deep inside our lungs. When our cells detect this and trigger a very strong innate immune response, this leads to an influx of white blood cells and fluids into our lungs that restricts the amount of airspace that we have to breathe.
The symptoms are very graphic and very, very striking. So, it's said that some people drowned in their own phlegm.
Okay, so drowning in your own phlegm sounds quite COVID-like. And this is what's actually quite disconcerting about this video is the numbers of dead that were there, saying that maybe up to actually 100 million people died. In the Spanish flu. So it's quite a devastating disease. And then this is a comparison between H1N1 and COVID-19. And this is in July.
6 million cases to go claim seems accurate, but an analysis of CDC data out this week says the number of people infected is actually likely 2 to 24 times as high as the confirmed case count right now. That would put our 4 million cases anywhere from 8 to 96 million cases. So that would considerably change the context of the claim. And while H1N1 cases appear to outnumber COVID-19 cases, at least for now, it doesn't come anywhere close to being as deadly. The U.S. has seen close to 142,000 deaths to COVID already, again, in just 6 months. In the first year.
So that's pretty interesting stuff. So my answer to the question is yes. COVID-19 is something that we will forget about, if that's what the question is actually asking. But actually it's saying, will COVID-19 end? And the answer is that COVID-19 will always be a phenomenon in of itself and will mutate and whatnot, but we will grow past it. Now, and we will not be wiped out by it because we've had many other insults. And I think this is the Zika virus that's there. So this is where babies, have, there's been a time in our lives where we've asked people not to get pregnant because of possibility of infecting their newborn children. That's pretty intense. So we are constantly being hit and hit and hit and hit as a human species by multiple different viruses and different diseases. And, that's why medicine is obviously so fun of a field to be in, because you can try to serve humanity and also really try to learn about these things as very interesting things that affect humans and try to help people in the end. But the ultimate goal of life is probably the first three things that I've showed you: boom, 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 and probably, fourth, or any path that you choose to take to basically spiritually elevate and transcend yourself above the fear that this question has, of course, here, that when will COVID-19 end, or will COVID-19 end? All right, so thank you for listening. Take care.